When you picture the Mongol Empire, what comes to mind? Usually it's the thundering hooves of the cavalry, the legendary skill of their horse archers, and of course, the formidable figure of Genghis Khan himself. But how did a nomadic society conquer and, more importantly, govern the largest contiguous land empire the world has ever seen? The answer isn't just brute force, it's logistics. Welcome to InfinityCast, where we explore the systems that shape our world. I'm your host, Elias Whitlock, and joining me to unpack one of history's greatest logistical achievements is my co-host, Rivera. Welcome.
Thanks for having me, Elias. It's a fascinating topic because the sheer scale of the Mongol Empire is mind-boggling. At its peak, it stretched from the Sea of Japan all the way to the Danube River in Europe. A message sent by conventional means could take the better part of a year to cross the empire. You simply can't rule with that kind of information lag.
Exactly. An order to move an army or a report on a local rebellion would be useless by the time it arrived. So, Genghis Khan and his successors needed a solution. They needed an imperial nervous system, and they built one. It was called the Yam.
The Yam. It sounds deceptively simple, but it was revolutionary. The Mongols established a massive network of relay stations, called orto, placed roughly every 25 to 30 miles along the major routes of the empire.
And these weren't just little shacks with a few tired horses. These were fully staffed, fully stocked outposts. Their sole purpose was to serve the imperial messengers. A rider for the Khan could gallop into a station, present his credentials, and within minutes be given a fresh horse, food, and whatever else he needed to continue his journey at top speed.
And the credential was key. Official messengers carried a paisa, a metal tablet, often made of silver or gold, that was worn around the neck. This was their passport and their all-access pass. It gave them the authority to demand resources from any station and from local populations without question. Marco Polo, who traveled through the empire long after Genghis Khan, was absolutely astonished by the system's efficiency. He claimed there were over 10,000 of these stations, with 300,000 horses at the ready.
The numbers are staggering. And the result was that a critical message could travel up to 200 miles in a single day. Think about that. In the 13th century, that's the equivalent of fiber optic speed. This had profound military and administrative implications.
Absolutely. Militarily, the Great Khan, often situated in Karakoram, could receive intelligence from the frontiers of Persia or Russia in a matter of weeks, not months. He could coordinate troop movements across continents. The Yam acted as the eyes and ears of the empire, neutralizing the disadvantage of distance.
And for governance, it was indispensable. It allowed for the efficient collection of taxes, the dissemination of laws, and the movement of officials. It also made the Silk Road safer than it had ever been. Merchants with the right permissions could use the system, which fostered a period of unprecedented trade and cultural exchange, known as the Pax Mongolica, or the Mongol Peace.
But it's important to remember this efficiency came at a tremendous cost. The system was a heavy burden on the local people, who were conscripted to staff the stations and required to provide the horses and food. And for the messengers themselves, it was a grueling, often fatal job. They rode day and night in all weather through hostile territory. They were the lifeblood of the empire, but their lives were short.
A crucial point. The Mongol Empire wasn't built on horses and bows alone. It was built on a revolutionary understanding of communication and control. The Yam postal system was Genghis Khan's true secret weapon, a logistical masterpiece that bound his vast conquests together.
It really shows that the fundamental challenge of any large-scale human endeavor, whether it's an ancient empire or a modern corporation, is communication. The need to shrink the world and conquer distance is a timeless problem, and the Mongols found one of history's most effective solutions.
Well said, Thank you for shedding light on that. And thank you all for listening to InfinityCast.